If you've clicked on this video, you're probably tired of your life right now. You probably even hate some parts of your life and maybe even some parts of yourself. The good part is we don't have to be the same person or live the same life that we did last year, 1 month ago, or even 5 minutes ago. We can change. We can reinvent and rebrand ourselves, not because we hate who we are, but because we love ourselves enough to know that we deserve better and that we can do better for ourselves. I feel like sometimes people can have a toxic view of rebranding or reinventing themselves because they feel like the person isn't loving themselves or who they are. But I feel like the highest form of self-love is to push yourself to do the hard things for yourself. There could be parts of ourselves that are truly toxic or are really negative, and it's really difficult to be able to come to terms with these types of things. So instead of thinking of rebranding as hating every single parts of ourselves, thinking that we have to change certain aspects to please other people, we should be able to reframe our mindset to think, okay, we're not doing this for anybody else except for us. We deserve to be able to give ourselves a positive life, to surround ourselves with better people, because at the end of the day, none of us are perfect and we can only try to become better every single day. I know that changing is super difficult, but sometimes so is staying in the same place. So we have to decide that for ourselves, whether it's harder to stay in the same place or to take action and do the hard things that are necessary for us to be able to change. Remember to be kind to yourself in the process. You might be able to look at me and think, what do I know about reinventing or changing myself? But in the past, a couple of years ago, I was literally crying every single day. I hated waking up in the morning and I couldn't wait to fall asleep at night because sleeping is a time where I could actually escape what my life was. I realized that I needed something to change, and that was only going to happen because of myself. I couldn't keep waiting for somebody to save me. I know that the place that I was in felt comfortable even though it was really toxic and it was making me extremely depressed, but I also knew that I couldn't live like this anymore, and I really had to make the decision to turn my life around, to cut off toxic relationships, to change some of my past in my life, to work on projects that I was actually passionate about, to feel more confident and healthier within my body, to stop crying every single day and actually do something about it. And trust me, I was crying every single day for like more than a year. But look at where I am now. I know that things are not perfect, and I'm still just trying to become that 1% better every single day and work towards my highest self. I'm so happy that I was able to make that change in the past for myself in the future. So if you're listening to this today and you feel really stuck with where your life is and you feel super unhappy and know that you're meant for more, take this as a sign to take that first step. So let's talk about the first step, which is analyzing your current self. Before we start making changes into our life, we have to ask ourselves some questions first. We have to first understand why we're feeling stuck with our lives at this current moment, or why we want a rebrand in the first place. For example, is it because the goals that you've set in the past are not aligning with what you actually want at this current moment? Is it because we recognize that we have a lot of bad habits, or we have a bad mindset that's dragging us down? Is it because maybe we don't even have any goals in the first place? Whatever it is, make sure that you have a clear understanding of what you don't like about yourself right now, or what you don't like about your current lifestyle. And I don't want this to be influenced by comparing yourself to other people on social media or some of your friends or the people around you. I really want you to think of reasons why you don't like things within your life based on yourself. For something this important, it would be worth it to just find the time to sit down and write an answer to these two questions as most detailed as possible. So, number one, if I were to become the best version of myself, what about me and my life would have to change? And just as importantly, why? One of my favorite ways to do this is to basically just write a week in the life of if my life was currently perfect. So what are some of the different parts of our lives? It could be different parts of our personality. It could be, I want to be super disciplined and super consistent every single day. I know that if I want to achieve something, then I will be able to take the steps and go towards it. Another example would be, what kind of relationships would you have? I know that sometimes when we're in our teens or in our 20s, or however old you are when you're watching this, we might not be surrounded by the best people. Sometimes these other people are influencing you in a negative way. We can end up in really toxic relationships that are super hard to get out of. So what would your relationships look like in your dream self? So for example, would you want your partner to be interested in the same hobbies as you, go to the gym together? Would you be able to tell anything towards your friends? What exactly are the types of relationships that you would want to have within your life? And let's move on to the professional side of things. What would your school or program be like if you're still in school or you're looking forward to being in school? What career would you have? Maybe if you want to become an entrepreneur, what business would you have? And so on. Really think about everything in your life that matters to you. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is to just focus on your own goals and what matters to you. So we can see these people like waking up at 5 a.m., doing their skincare routine. But if that doesn't matter to you, that might not be in your idealized version of yourself. So staying true to yourself and your goals is what's really important. We should be as precise as possible so that planning towards our idealized version of ourselves is as easy as possible. And you shouldn't feel like you have to come up with the ultimate answer right now or all at once. Your goals and ambitions will change over time. As you grow and mature and evolve, so will the way that you see the world as a person. When I was in high school, I literally thought that I knew everything. I thought that things are the way that they should be. This is how it's supposed to happen. This is exactly how my life should be. And then once I grew older, I noticed that everything is so confusing sometimes. The way that I see things is totally different. Some of my priorities are different as well. And we're not going to care about the same things as we get older. This is inevitable. We're going to get more experienced and we're going to mature. But at the end of the day, having at least some of these initial answers will help guide you in the right direction, even if your final destination isn't set in stone yet. I feel like it's always better to have a goal and a direction in mind, even if we don't know what the final target is, because it's better than just wandering around aimlessly, hoping that things will work themselves out or hoping that somebody else will come swoop us up and save us, because that's just not true. And the harsh truth is the only person that can change your life is you, and the only person that can save yourself is you. So now that we've kind of sketched out our future self, we have to put together our plan for realizing it. The most important thing is we want to be action oriented. We want to be solution oriented. So don't just make a list of everything that you're doing wrong or everything that you hate about yourself, but for every quality or thing that you want to develop within yourself, you want to write down what you need to make it happen and how you're going to do it. I feel like for a lot of us, a lot of our anxiety comes from uncertainty in our life, uncertainty in the future, uncertainty within ourselves. So that just really emphasizes the need for concrete, actionable steps and actionable plans, because if we just write down our highest self and we don't really know exactly how to get there, I feel like that sometimes will create more stress upon our shoulders, and we might always feel like we're meant for more, but we don't know how to get there. So here's an example. If you find yourself always distracted on your phone all the time, or you're never focused, and you just want to become that person that's super focused on their work, does their work before everything else, and lives in the present, don't just tell yourself to do better. Tell yourself how you're going to do it. Have a plan for what you're going to do next time you just open up Instagram. What will you do instead? How will you prevent it from happening too often? Maybe once we find ourselves scrolling on Instagram, we have to force ourselves to read 10 pages of a book. Another plan of action is next time you catch yourself on Instagram, put your phone in another room and tell yourself that maybe you're not going to check it until you actually finish one of the tasks on your to-do list. This way, instead of kicking yourself when you're down, we're setting ourselves up for positivity and success time after time. Now, repeat this process for every single section that you have within your life. And of course, we don't have to implement all of these right away. We know that consistency is key. So one thing that we can do is maybe we can just focus on one of these things, but making sure we write down at least some plan of action for all of these aspects of our lives can help us plan and reinvent for the future. You can be able to find people to talk to who might be able to help you. You can go looking for exactly what you need. Whatever your goals, don't let the fear of rejection or embarrassment or judgment from other people hold you back. Don't make yourself the obstacle that's holding you back from living your dream life. Speaking of the fear of rejection or embarrassment, I feel like I talk about this so much, but it is so important. If you have some goals that you think that maybe the people around you will judge you at, maybe the people around you won't be supportive at, for example, starting a YouTube channel, maybe starting a podcast, maybe going to the gym, maybe dyeing your hair. All of these things might not be things that people are going to support you at. And we don't want to prevent ourselves from letting that fear of rejection or judgment hold us back from what we want. Because if people do judge you for just trying to become your better self or trying to become the best version of yourself, then that says something more about them than it says about you. I feel like if our goals are something that is positive for us, something that doesn't hurt other people, then there's no reason for people to look down upon us. If people are like looking down on us anyways, then that means that they are already below us and they might not be the type of people that you want to keep in your life. Trust me, there's so many people out there that might be jealous of your success or jealous that you're actually taking the time and the actions to improve your life in a better way, and they might drag you down. We might have people in our lives that are really toxic towards us, and I want to let you know that it's okay to sometimes outgrow some people. It's okay to sometimes let go of some people that might be holding you back. Just being a good person and trying to be a positive and uplifting person attracts the same type of people. And maybe on your journey to becoming your best self or rebranding yourself might be something that is super lonely at the beginning. You're eventually going to find the right people in your life that love you for who you are, that you don't have to be fake or act a different version of yourself around. The people that truly support you and don't look down upon your successes, but lift you up. So the next thing is talking about mindset, the mindset that we need. Sometimes what's holding us back isn't necessarily something external like friends or our careers or our jobs or anything about our life circumstances, but the thing that's holding ourselves back is our own brains, our mindset. It's the things that we tell ourselves, the approach that we take, and the beliefs that we have about our own skills and our own potential. No matter what we want to achieve, I feel like mindset is everything. And the most important thing that we want to foster is what's called agency. So the definition of agency is the tendency and ability to achieve our goals given the environment we find ourselves in. It means seeking solutions to the problems that we have rather than hoping that they'll just solve themselves. It means focusing on the tools and the privileges that we do currently have instead of focusing on the ones that we don't. Having this kind of solution-oriented mindset can allow us to make the most of our opportunities. The only way to develop it is practice. Trust me, it's so hard to be able to develop this kind of solution-based mindset because I know that I can be a very jealous jealous person, I realized that thinking in that way does nothing for me. But we don't want to spend our energies being jealous of other people, because what's that going to do for us? So instead of being jealous of them or assuming all of these things with them, look at these people as inspirations and see how you can utilize the resources that you have to be able to achieve those same things if you want to achieve those things. Practice facing our problems head on. Stop procrastinating on the things that you have to do, looking for plans and paths forward other than complaining or excuses. And this doesn't mean that we can't recognize that other people are in maybe a more privileged or advantageous position than us. But what it does mean is that we should try not to complain just for the sake of complaining, and instead redirect our focus in different ways that we can overcome whatever obstacles that are in front of us. Because with a mindset like this, you will truly be unstoppable. So no matter where you are now or where you want to go, remember to give yourself permission to let go of your past mistakes and forgive yourself for whatever mistakes that you've done in the past. Forgive whatever other people have done to you in the past. Past mistakes don't define you, and I do have a lot of regrets as well, but there's really nothing that I can do about that right now except take that as a lesson and use it moving forward. Everyone has the right to move on from their past at some point and focus on what lies ahead of them. I want you to be able to be honest with yourself about everything. Be honest about maybe some negative traits that we have. Be honest to yourself about what you truly want in life for yourself. Hold yourself accountable to these things. At the end of the day, we are free to become anything and anyone that we decide to be. Know that as long as you don't stand in your way, there's nobody else that can stop you. Mwah.
We haven't talked that much since June. I'm afraid that I lost you. I hate we grew apart and never